Y'all gotta give me 2 seconds. I'm decked out over here in my Super Mario hoodie. I gotta take it off. I'm really fucking warm. I know you can't even see me, but I'm vibing over here.
That's hilarious. I have a Mario shirt on right now.
You did all that for nobody.
All right, I took it off, and now I'm revealing my Super Mario t-shirt I'm wearing underneath. I'm not quite as warm, but I'm better. I was trying to figure out a way to wear my Ape Arcade hat, wear the Super Mario hoodie, and have the t-shirt underneath and show all three, but I think there's no way I can lift up the hoodie and have the Super Mario logo not covered while showing the Mario t-shirt underneath and having the hat in the frame.
Welcome back, Banana Bunch, to another Monkey Media Madness, or My name is Squishy. With me, as always, is Weena Castle. And today, we're talking about the movie that basically invented video games altogether. The movie that had the full backing power of Nintendo. The movie's so good, it's so bad. Of course, we're talking 1989's The Wizard, starring Tobey Maguire. No, actually, we're not. We're talking about the movie filled with drug dealers and streetwalkers, a dystopian hellscape that can only be referred to as Super Mario Bros. The movie. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
You like the movie?
Yeah, I mean, it gets a lot of hate, but it is charming in its own way.
Alright, so let's toss it to you. Have you seen this movie beforehand?
Okay, so this is kind of funny. As the both of you know, I'm not originally from America. So back when I lived in my home country, when I was maybe like 3 or 4 years old, I walked into the living room and I saw that like my parents were watching this movie. The only part that I vividly remember is the part where Bob Hoskins is winding up the bob-omb and it starts walking, and I just remember looking at that and it being like, what is this? And my brother was like, it's Mario. And I was just like, okay, and then I just left and did whatever else I did at that age.
Yeah, I could see how you seeing that and going, I don't know what this is, and then him going, it's Mario, and you go, I don't think so. I don't know if that's what this is.
But it's so crazy because then I watched it in full for the first time last year, and when that scene came up, all my memories came flooding back.
It's like a brain blast.
Yeah.
Mario!
At one point in my life, I tried to seek out the DVD for this movie, and somebody was just like, oh yeah, no, you don't want that movie, it sucks.
This movie sucks eggs.
And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it must suck.
Shit, this movie sucks.
Yeah. So I left it at that. I was like, well, I mean, people don't like this movie, so.
What about you, Castle?
I did not see it when it came out. I did not see it in theaters because I was only a few months old at that point. I was born towards the end of 92, and this came out around the middle of 93. I was a wee little baby.
Little baby.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Same, I was a wee little baby.
Little babies in the Mario movie.
I think I had just started eating solid foods at that time.
I was a little baby and I saw the Mario movie and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not my Mario movie.
I was like, oh, that's not Luigi.
Mario, what's going on here?
Hey, Mario!
Oh, you mean to tell me that's a Goomba?
There ain't no Goomba I ever seen.
Not my
Ain't no
Goomba.
Goomba like that. That's not my Goomba.
All my homies hate that Goomba.
No, according to this movie, all my homies hate mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of mammal prejudice. I think I remember watching parts of this. I have like bits and pieces that I can remember. Maybe my brother like rented it from Blockbuster, but I didn't remember seeing a lot of it. I had rediscovered it with some friends of mine, and we watched it at my friend's basement. And I don't think we were prepared for what exactly it not being a good movie was going to be. But it just doesn't really do anything for Mario, you know?
I saw this as a kid a lot. We had the movie channels growing up, so whenever I was in the living room playing with toys, like there'd be a movie in the background. So this was constantly on like HBO or Showtime. It's not the worst movie.
No, it's really not.
Growing up watching all those movie channels, you realize there's a lot of movies that are the same. Batman had just come out. That kind of was a trendsetter for a lot of films. So this movie definitely takes a lot of inspirations from the dark tones of The Dark Knight. Dark tones.
Yeah, that makes
Batman.
a lot of sense. Like, now that you say that, yeah, I can definitely see that. With 89's Batman, everything just being, like, draped in leather and dripping and just, like, icky would be the way to describe that movie. This movie does a lot of that.
It's supposed to be, this, like, dystopian, gross world, dark and gritty. Apparently, originally it was supposed to be even darker than what we ended up with, but they had to tone a lot of it down.
I didn't know any actors or actresses in the film, so I didn't understand at the time. Castle, who's in this flick?
Oh, dude. You want to talk about some winners? We have MTV Movie Award winner for Best Villain here, Dennis Hopper, as King Koopa, right? If you couldn't tell, that was King Koopa.
I play King Koopa, the Lizard King.
The 1997 Stinker Bad Movie Award nominee for Worst Actor, John Leguizamo, as Luigi Mario.
Oh, you got a problem with that?
The Evening Standard British Award winner for Best Actor, Bob Hoskins, as Mario.
The name's Mario. I'm your main man.
We have Frank Castle's dead wife from 2004's The Punisher, Samantha Mathis.
Yeah?
And she plays what I would consider, and I know I'm in the minority here, the best Mario franchise princess over here. And this was her third time that the character was ever in the series, Princess Daisy.
Is that accurate?
I don't know.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't tell you what years or what systems those came out on, but this is Princess Daisy's third time in the Mario franchise.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I just want to make a note that this movie came out May 23rd, 1993. Do you know what came out June 11th of 1993? Jurassic Park. So, if you want to talk about where the CG is, I think, even though that movie's pretty revolutionary for what it did for, like, CGI and for, what am I thinking of? Like prosthetics and stuff like that. This movie didn't have nearly that budget, but, it came out about 3 or 4 weeks later.
Yeah, and that's such a slap in the face, too, because they are both movies with dinosaurs in them, and one of them does it infinitely better than the other. And that is Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
The making of this movie was a fucking disaster. Everyone's drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Mario has brought Luigi up from, he's obviously a very, very much younger brother.
Everyone's drunk on this movie.
I mean, how can you not? With a production like this, you kind of need to drink the pain away.
Yeah.
Physically and metaphorically.
Well, think about you're spending like 18 hours in an abandoned cement factory. That's where this film all takes place, in an abandoned cement factory with no AC. So you just gotta drink everything away. Whole script has changed. You just have to roll with the punches. Great time. Your name's Mario. You don't know where the fuck you are.
There's a scene where John Leguizamo is pretty drunk and they are driving the van. And instead of just accelerating, he does this weird maneuver.
What are you doing? I don't know, Mario. Just trust me. I got a good feeling about this. So I gunned it, right? They said stop at that mark, and I stopped as hard as I could. Door came flying out, smashed his poor little Bob Hoskins fingers. He went into some Cockney Tourette's thing. Oh, geez, me cozy.
Kind of like fractured his forearm, and he had to wear this big cast that they covered up and painted to be like flesh colored, or they like covered it up under his jacket. He's just got that for the rest of the movie. Poor guy.
Lord.
What if I told you there was a Snyder cut of this film?
Oh, God. Why was it ever released, or was it something that was edited and ready to go, but the studio just said no and didn't put it out?
No, it's not exactly a Snyder cut. Back in 2019, a website called Super Mario Brothers Archive.
Yep.
They were trying to restore the film to be more of like a restoration 4K image. But they found a tape that had an additional 15 minutes of footage on it. And it consists of deleted scenes, unfinished scenes. As we talk about the film, I'll add some significant deleted scenes in there.
The movie opens with the Mario theme. That's a good start. And then Bob Hoskins starts talking about the creation of life in a weird 16-bit animation with dinosaurs in a Brooklyn accent.
Is that
Bad
Bob
start.
Hoskins? I don't know. It
Yes.
sounds like some other dude.
I mean, it could be, the man's already proven that he could do different voices.
I used to do Shakespeare and wear tights, but now I'm playing this little character that bounces up and down in a game.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's done in kind of like a children's program kind of way, because like the dinosaurs start like talking to each other and they're like, oh, like.
That's right, there's like two dinosaurs. It's like, what a lovely day we're having. Yeah. Here's a serious question. The movie opens up, and right off the bat, they hit me with a baby baby being born out of an egg.
Yeah,
What is going
right
on
in
here?
front of a bunch of very confused nuns. Like, they're like, what the fuck is going on here?
So my question is, if Luigi and Daisy have a kid, that thing's coming out in an egg.
I think she may have caught on to that. You know, at the end of the movie, she's like, listen, man, why don't you go back to, you know, your Earth? I'm going to hang out here. I think she was like, I can't have relations with this guy. We're going to have weird half New York, half egg babies, you know?
She's
Half
like,
plumber, excuse me.
oh yeah, that's their race apparently, because that's kind of a thing with Dennis Hopper's character.
Plumber alert.
Plumber alert is one of the things that he said, so it kind of makes
Plumber
it sound
alert.
like plumbers are a race and not just like an occupation for people.
After the apartment scene, they rush to their emergency. They gotta save lives at a broken dishwasher. And I would like to add, that's where our first deleted scene comes into play.
Oh, what?
Yeah, right?
So I
Early
don't
on.
know anything about the deleted scenes. This is gonna be uncharted territory for me.
Hey! Nobody touches my tools.
Okay, wait. 3 things I want to make a note of with that deleted scene.
Okay.
So first of all, he calls him Mario.
Mr. Mario.
Very early on, it already implies that they know that his name is Mario, and it kind of like defeats the joke that they make later on in the movie. Second of all, it implies that Scapelli is Mario's enemy and not Daisy's enemy. The third thing is there's just way too much exposition all at once in this one tiny little like noisy scene, because you find out that like he grew up with Scapelli. You find out that he's got competition with other plumbers in the neighborhood, and his name is Mario. It's like way too much all at once.
That is by far the most inner city Brooklyn argument I've ever seen, of 2 very Italian groups of brothers just arguing at each other about nothing and calling them just like, oh, so who's it gonna be, Mario or Scapelli?
Yeah.
Scapelli.
He says, nobody touches my tools. And that is a very important line because that is one of the catchphrases of the action figures you could go by.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, shit.
His trademark catchphrase that they cut out of the film.
They cut it out of the film, but they put it in the. Oh, that's like lost media right there.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'd pay a decent amount for those action figures, the Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo Mario and Luigi action figures. Yeah, I'd probably pay like $50 or $60.
You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna look it up. So Mario himself, I found one listing. He is $10,628.25 from Australia.
Can you do me a favor? Can you message the seller and ask them if they can knock 3 digits off that? Next, we are introduced to 2 of the sleaziest meth heads with 2 of the worst haircuts I have ever seen. And we find out that that's Spike and Iggy.
Or is it
and this
Iggy and Spike?
It's fucking neither and both at the same time. It's very confusing to me. When you look at these 2 guys, I guess when you look at Mario, you're like, sure, that's Mario. When you look at Luigi, you're like, I guess. I mean, Luigi also has a mustache that we're kind of missing here, but whatever. You look at these guys, I don't know. I could have never guessed that that's who that was going to be.
They don't even look like dinosaurs.
They don't look like fucking humans. Like, they do, but they're just like, what is this
It's a
caricature
compliment.
that we're seeing?
I mean, they don't look like dinosaurs, but at the same time, like nobody in Dino Hatton looks like dinosaurs. You know, like I mean,
Koopa looks like a T-Rex.
well, he does when he does his little like arm thing.
I love his little arm thing. He points like that. I love it. No one in this film like has a backbone. Spike and Iggy, they find Daisy, and then they see Mario's girlfriend, and he's like, no, that's her. And the other dude's like, yeah, you're right. And then they just go with it. And then Daisy just met this random dude at a payphone, and Mario just tells Luigi to say to her, let's go out to dinner. And she's like, yeah, all right. Just met you like 3 hours ago before I was about to be like kidnapped.
It's true. There really isn't too much of a purpose as to like why they met. It's like, okay, yeah, she was distressed. He happened to be there, but like, you can't really just build a connection that quickly.
Yeah, he kind of just like suddenly sees her and is just instantly just in love. And then he says to her,
It's a pleasure to meet me. It's a pleasure to meet you. Do you eat?
it's like, what? Why would you give this man the time of day?
Because she looked at him and went, I can fix him. No, it's because Luigi looked at her eyes and was like, oh my god, Mario, she's the one. I can see myself in 6 hours meeting her fungus dad while being in a dino planet. It's gonna be incredible. So Mario's girlfriend just gets kidnapped like nothing, and then we don't see her for another hour of the movie.
Yeah.
And Mario just goes through life not knowing his girlfriend's been kidnapped.
Well, yeah, to be fair, I mean, he had no idea that she got kidnapped. It's kind of funny because, like, when he does find out...
Daniela, I promise to take her to WrestleMania.
Which is the most 90s thing I think that a middle-aged plumber could say about that.
And even I, like, when I was watching it, I forgot, and I was just like, oh my god, like, she was kidnapped.
And then he finds the rest of them, and they all kind of look the same. They're all like the Brooklyn, like, done-up girl. And then by that time in the movie, you forgot which one is Mario's girlfriend. And you're just like, they're all just so loud. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're all so loud and so Italian-American.
And none of them are Daisy. Why did they pick them?
Yeah, none of them look anything like Daisy. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they gave a brief description of, like, she's a woman. Somewhere between the ages of, I don't know, 24 to 32.
How do we get Mario to meet dinosaurs? Pipes.
Pipe travel, warp pipe.
Holy shit, this is actually smarter than I thought.
Yeah, because it's basically a warp pipe. They go in the pipe and they warp to the next dimension.
No. They use pipes to get Mario physically to the dino site that leads him into the plot.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Oh!
I know you don't want to give the movie credit, but yeah, I mean, credit where credit is.
That's
kind of
subtle.
smart. Yeah.
Because they're
Is
like,
it?
Yeah,
Is it
because
smart, or did they say, "Hey, you're a plumber. I have a plumbing problem."
But
the end. That's how they got him there. It's not, "Oh, you pipe. We have pipes here. Why don't you? Because pipes come here." Like, no. They just say you're a plumber. We have a plumbing problem.
Why would
I don't
they
want to call the Scapellis because they're trying to screw me over with this construction site. I'm gonna call the next plumber I see. Oh, I bumped into one. That's convenient.
Why would they adapt a video game and not use anything from the video game? That's fucking stupid. Of course they're gonna use the warp pipes.
Well, I mean, Annabelle Jekyll said, I don't think either of us ever had fully involved ourselves in the game at all, which might have had something to do with the end result. We played it for research. It's a bit like you're doing an adaptation of something, you do your due diligence. But it's not like we were up all through the night playing it.
They make it seem like they are above the video game while they are making a movie about the video game. It's like, oh, it was just for research. We don't play video games.
It's definitely a very snobby way to look at it.
We found this theory about a meteorite hitting the Earth, and that was the reason why dinosaurs disappeared.
Mario gets defeated by everyone in this movie. Mario's not much of a hero. The only time Mario's kicking ass is fixing that pipe.
Yeah.
He's the underdog until it comes to manual labor.
Is it Luigi the underdog? Because he can't plumb until the very end, and then he plumbs and saves the universe.
But Luigi has more bravery than Mario, because Luigi is the first one to jump right into the warp wall. And then there's that scene where they have to kind of do like a leap of faith, and Luigi jumps first, and he kind of gets stuck to a hook, but he thinks that, I'm safe, I'm floating, it's no big deal. But he was the first to do that. Mario still didn't want to jump even after that.
I don't think that's bravery, I think that's stupidity. He was like, nah, I'm not gonna go through a wall and save some person I've never met. We met her 4 hours ago. No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get the cops. And then later, I just witnessed my brother try to unlive himself down a shaft. I don't even know where he was jumping to. He just jumped out of nowhere. I'm not gonna follow him right after. Like, I'm not stupid. But then, Luigi, I'm floating. And then Mario. Luigi almost killed his brother that day.
Yeah.
Could you imagine this whole movie? He saves Daisy, saves the universe, and then he has to live by himself in an apartment.
That's true. And if not for Fungus Daddy, he would have been dead.
Fungus Daddy. Oh, I hate that.
King Fungus Daddy.
My whole thing that I'm thinking, right, is they get knocked out by Spike and Iggy. At this point, to me, the rest of the movie is just a fever dream. They're both in comas, and it's like a lucid fever dream. You've had those dreams before where you know you're dreaming and you're like, I'm gonna do some crazy shit right now because I know I can get away with it. That's why he's just like, none of this is real. There's figments of things that could be, possibly real, of being in Manhattan and, there's actual cars and whatnot, but it's just like, none of this is fucking real. So that's why he does all the crazy shit that he's doing. They find themselves in an alternate version of Manhattan. The walls are covered in graffiti, everything is dirty, there's crackheads and lizard people as far as the eye can see, there's gross sticky webbing all over everything, there's little dinosaurs roaming the streets, so it's just Manhattan.
I get upset and worked up if I walk into a room and see more people than anticipated in that room. I would lose my shit if I just woke up in a dino hat and like just expected to like just keep going. No.
It is way more cramped in there than it is in actual Manhattan. You know, it doesn't really feel like a different dimension. It does feel like an alternate reality in some ways, but in other ways it just kind of feels like they dropped themselves into like the dirtiest part of Manhattan.
Like they just happened to go to the other side of that tunnel and come out downtown.
They came out and they're like, oh, we just gotta go 3 blocks that way and we're back to our apartment. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how close they live to all this shit. They look and they see a movie theater, and the marquee on the theater reads, "I was a teenage mammal XXX." I'm like, what is going on here? What the fuck is happening?
Mario and Luigi come to discover this new land and instantly see a mom pushing her egg and watching thieves trying to steal the egg from her.
Yeah.
Implying who knows what.
But why are you taking your egg for a walk?
Imagine from that scene is they take it and they're like, ah, and they're kind of playing like, you know, monkey in the middle with her, where they're throwing it back and forth, and then one of them cracks it open and just sucks it out. It's like, oh my god, what is happening in this just wasteland? Dude, it's at that point, man, like in other horror movies, for me, find a bed. Just find a corner, curl up, try and fall asleep, or just kill yourself. Like, this is way too much, man. We see a man, just a street vendor, serving up charred lizards on a bun.
The ratio of bun to lizard is outrageous.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely unacceptable.
I'm not paying
Also,
$3 for a bun, dude.
This thing has been cooking for 48 hours on high. Like, these are some crisp lizards.
It is charred.
Shortly after that, Mario and Luigi immediately get mugged by an old woman with a taser, who is then picked up by this Goliath dominatrix and hurled into traffic. Again, I guess this is just Manhattan.
Yeah.
Listen.
But then she gets hurled, she falls into like another car, and then she just like continues her fucking mugging antics.
Yeah, she's ready for it. She woke up and was like, I choose violence. And she just zaps everyone in her path.
Yeah. It's like The Purge, you know, where they just said all crime is legal, and she's like, I've waited my whole life for this.
Dude, she's straight up gangster. She's like, call an ambulance, but not for me. And then she whips it. I just want to add, after your dominatrix saves the day, she jets away like a boss.
So she steals the crystal, and then she jumps away on her special boots. We'll get back to her and her boots later. Unnamed badass, we'll call her. Unnamed villain? I don't even know.
Yeah.
King Koopa with the pre-COVID measures over here, he's trying to disinfect himself from all the fungus. He like has like a weird like wax thing that he dips his hands into.
He went to a Ren fair and saw them dip their wax, like people's hands in the wax and like make like a whole keepsake. That he's like, I want to do that all the time.
Every
We
day.
gotta put that in the movie. That's gotta be in the movie. That's so cool.
So it's just so weird, you know. He's very much a like a germaphobe in a way.
I think they're trying to, like, they're pitching this character and they're like, we have this evil character. He's like the mayor. He's kind of king. We sometimes call him king, but he's more like a mayor or anything like that.
He's like a tyrant.
He's a T-Rex. He's demanding of everything. He can't stand germs. And then he slaughters everyone. And what was that part? Oh, hates germs. He's gonna take over all of Brooklyn and then the world from there. Even though by the time he completely takes over Brooklyn, we would just like cut that part off and like never associate with it ever again. You know what I mean? Yeah. We had to bomb them. Oh no, how much are we losing? Brooklyn? Yeah, okay.
That's it? Brooklyn?
Yeah, he just wants to merge Brooklyn. There's a scene at one point where he has a globe that he spins, and the globe is just completely desert land except for like one tiny little city, and that's apparently Dino-Hatton. And that's probably why the place is so cramped with people. It's because it's like the only livable space in this like giant desert land. It's like Australia.
It's like Australia.
Fuck you, Australia.
That gets kept in.
We were both on the same page about that. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
seriously. Everything is just uninhabitable, so everybody's crammed into the small area. Koopa puts a hit out on the Mario Brothers, so I think this is where we get some of the plumber mammal prejudice here.
Get in there, plumber!
They're making plumbers sound more like a race than an occupation.
He's like, hey, are those plumbing tools I see on you? And he's like, hey, what do you mean? And then they get arrested for being plumbers.
Yeah, and Mario makes a scene too. He's like, I can't believe I'm getting arrested for being a plumber.
You can't be a plumber this day and age. What's going on here?
I'm getting arrested for being a plumber.
Toad is unjustly arrested for singing anti-Koopa songs.
Well, yeah, it's propaganda.
It's propaganda to take down the evil Koopa.
Yeah, you don't want to, you got a tyrant running the entire city. You don't want to talk bad about him. He'll throw you in jail.
And it's such like a quick throwaway line, but I think again, hidden themes. Music is what brings down Koopa in this movie.
Yeah.
God, it's like Footloose.
How do you like the look of Toad?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Did you
That's
see
what I have
Toad?
in my notes right here. Is the brothers are soothed by a sultry voice of a homeless street performer who we find out to be Toad. I hate it. I fucking hate it so much.
He's really dopey looking. There's nothing about him that makes him look like Toad. I guess the only thing that really makes him Toad-like is the fact that he's got like a purple vest on, and that's what Toads wear.
The fact that he's got legs.
Yeah.
And Toad has legs. Like, that's about it.
Yeah, but he's he's got this like weird shaved head that's like creating a swirly pattern, and that comes back later. That's like how you can identify him in the group of Goombas.
That's how?
Yeah, that's how I identify.
Not the harmonica around his neck?
Oh shit.
He's the musician one? Yeah, weird. But yeah, no, I fucking hate it. It doesn't make any sense. They could have given him like a mushroom t-shirt, or they could have given him a big red floppy hat, or anything. They could have done anything.
So they've got these, what look like sniper rifles, and they're pointing them at,
horrifying.
At Mario and Luigi's foreheads. They think that they're gonna get shot, but it's actually just a camera to take their mugshot. I think that it's really effective in capturing the fear in a mugshot. You want everybody in your mugshot to look like they're about to fucking die. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah, you don't want any of those people who are like sarcastic, like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna smile for my mugshot. Haha, I'm cooler than crime. It's like, no, this is a gun. I'm gonna murder your face with this picture. Like, that's what this thing is telling you.
Everything in this world is a gun.
Yeah!
Cameras are guns. Tasers are guns. Remotes for TVs are in the shape of a gun.
Yeah, we'll get to that point. I have a note about that.
Lizards woke up. They get evolved. They're like electric cars and guns for everything. Guns that do everything but shoot bullets.
There isn't a gun that shoots bullets. No, there's the evolution ray.
That's not bullets.
Yeah,
there's the flamethrower that doesn't fire bullets.
That's true, yeah.
None of these guns fire bullets.
Yeah.
There's 3 milestone moments of Mario lore, okay? First one, when he gets Yoshi. Second one is finding out that Mario's name is Mario.
Name? Mario. Last name?
Mario.
I hate it so much. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Third one, Mario has nipples.
True, those are the 3 things that,
everyone knows about Mario lore. The first time Mario meets Koopa shows up as their lawyer.
Larry Lazard, of Lazard, Conda, Dactyl.
Yeah, I was gonna
what
say.
What are you saying here?
He makes up a name. He's also kind of like scanning the room as he says it.
And then he's just like, I can save you as long as you just tell me what the crystal is. And Luigi just goes, what? And instantly he's like, you piece of shit. I hate mammals. I hate all you. All he was just asking, what?
He really didn't even try. He like played up the role for like 2 seconds, and then he was just like, nah, fuck this. This ain't gonna work.
I'll just strangle him until I get the crystal. He doesn't even strangle him. He tries to pop his eyes out.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's real violent. Yeah, it's not like he reaches across the table and just does like a generic, I'm gonna get you. He's like, no, I've done this. Like, I know how to put people out quick.
Well, after our lawyer scene here, we get the de-evolution chamber.
That's right. This is the first time we find out about
chamber. It's the movie graces us with the Goombas. I'm so confused.
I don't know. They kind of look like something out of like Beetlejuice or some shit. Like they don't really look like.
That is like the perfect way to describe it.
On the flip side, physically, they look incredible. Like, I don't think I've ever really watched this movie without a part of me going, that's a real fucking thing. Like, that's a real ass lizard talking. Like, not talking, but like, it's got like eyebrow movement. It can like flip its lip backwards. Yeah. It's got incredible detail for this movie.
Yeah, no, the puppeteering.
Yeah, the prosthetics aren't bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And that's where I'm like, no one goes out of their way to make a bad movie. There's some really well done craft in here. A lot of the animatronics. And then there's the rest of the movie.
Yeah. You can definitely tell where the budget went and where it didn't go.
Goombas.
Goomba!
Goomba!
That's my favorite part of the whole movie. Like, there's gotta be some part of him that is enjoying that moment of him being paid to stand in front of camera and just go, Goomba!
Well, okay, so he didn't even know that the Mario Brothers was a game franchise, so he's probably heard the word Goomba for the first time and thought that it was just a fun word to say, which it is.
If you watch the de-evolution scene, there's a part that really doesn't make any sense, and I've watched the movie 100 times, and it never clicked on me. They push Koopa back, and he slides into the chair. Mm-hmm. There's a massive puddle of goo there that causes him to get pushed. No clue where it comes from.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at it, and the first thing that comes to mind, like, what else, you know? It's shit. My headcanon for that part was that, like, when they had Toad strapped to that chair, that he was just so scared that he literally shit himself.
That much? Oh my god.
And that is where I go and check out the Snyder Cut for more answers.
What?
In the deleted scene we have another fine example of a gentleman with no backbone who is told to sit in the chair.
Yeah.
Instantly after seeing someone be turned into a fucking Goomba, and he's just like, well, I'm told to sit in the chair. And then instantly regrets it. He's like, oh, well, I don't want to sit in the chair. Class.
Why did I sit in the chair?
All because he sneezed.
Yeah.
There are some scenes of him coming out on the machine to kind of give you a sense of, like, it was supposed to be like a sploosh. Like the scene from the first X-Men movie where the dude can, like, squeeze through the bars and then he just splooshes everywhere. It was very much like that.
Ugh.
The amount of work that goes into this one car chase, like, the scene is nuts.
Oh yeah.
There's
it's
so
crazy,
much happening.
dude. Everything is sparking. There's just, like, everything is shooting sparks all over the place.
It really looks like somebody just kind of went into a junkyard and pieced together a bunch of, like, police cars and stuff. Like, none of these actually look like they were built with, like, sturdiness or, you know, structure in mind. They're all just kind of, like, thrown together.
It's like some shit from Mad Max or Escape from New York, you know?
Well, I was gonna say, Mad Max Fury Road is one giant car chase. There's some crazy shit that's going on. There's fire coming out of cars. Cars are flipping over, and it's all nuts. A lot of that is practical effects, but there is a large number of special effects that goes into that film.
Oh, yeah.
Because of safety reasons. You can't do that shit and expect everyone to walk away totally fine every time. A movie like that involves a lot of green screens in the middle of the desert so they can overlay cars. You didn't have that back here.
Nah.
You just had death traps, and they're just like, we're gonna film 3 different angles. Don't miss your mark because it costs money to film.
Yeah,
so.
they had cars flying at each other left and right. They had fire all over the place, and you had Bob Hoskins who was like, I want to do my own stunts.
While they are being chased throughout the city and going through the back alleys by the cops, a version of the movie's theme is played, and it's mixed with the song Funiculi Funicula, created by Italian composer Luigi Denza in 1880 to commemorate the opening of the funicular mountain railway that climbed Mount Vesuvius. Or you would know this song from the pizza theme from PlayStation 2's Spider-Man 2 the game. Of course, of all the fucking Italian themes you could be playing, they just throw this in here for this scene. We see that the brothers have a special handshake where they interlock their fingers and wiggle them and say glug, 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 glug. There's so many things that I hate, and then there's little things like that where I'm like, all right, I'm back in.
Transmogrification. More like a transfiguration.
You know, they start spouting off a bunch of smart people shit, like saying words like transmogrification and how peculiar.
They really did.
That's what smart people do.
They just kind of like pick big words, or I guess like words that are like big to kids, and
exactly.
And they just start using them all like nonsensically. Like they don't really like fit into the sentences that they're trying to say, but you know.
He starts shouting math problems at him at one point.
Yeah, he comes out of the chair and he's like, "Don't you know the square root of 13,000 million bajillion third?"
I do.
It's obviously 13 million or something like that.
And then he just walks away.
Yeah.
Man, those are interesting characters.
Yeah.
They focus so heavily on them in the first half, and then they just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
They disappear until a point where they team up with Mario and Luigi.
But even after that, there's a point in the film where they drop off completely.
Oh, yeah. I don't think of them at a certain point after, once Mario kind of goes and gets the girls and they do the whole slide part, I don't think I see them from then on out.
The last scene you see them in is when they bring Daisy to her father.
May I present to you your father?
Yeah.
And then they run away. You don't see them ever again until one of the writers was brought on to finish off their story because the test audiences noticed that. And that is where you get the fateful after credit scene.
Which I didn't realize until this time watching it.
That there was an after credit scene?
Yeah, I had no idea until this time watching it. I was like making my final thoughts and then holy shit, there was a post-credit scene.
What did they call themselves?
Spike Adventure.
No, it was like the Super Koopa brother. No, Super Koopa
The
cousins.
Super Koopa cousins, yeah. The Adventures of Iggy and Spike. And then he goes, no, I got it. The Super Koopa cousins.
Now, what if I told you before all that, before they had to write an ending to Spike and Iggy, they actually had an ending and a finished storyline.
Yeah, like they didn't leave it on a cliffhanger like the movie actually ends.
Correct. You know where I found it?
No.
The Snyder Cut.
Oh!
Let's watch another delete scene.
Scoopa! The party poopa! The poopa scoopa!
That is amazing. You know what?
That's something.
That is definitely the product of the 90s. And it reminds me of like that, The Legend of Zelda rap from those old commercials.
The deleted scene, we see our heroic bunch, newly turned heroes, Spike and Iggy, busting out their best and greatest anti-Koopa rap. Fun fact, Spike is actually the drummer of the band Sonic Youth.
Oh.
And in the middle of production, he actually came up with this idea on set.
It's great. I think it's great. I think it's like it's a fun little treat for anybody who's like looking for that kind of stuff.
This is where the giant headed velociraptor is introduced to Princess Daisy and we find out this is Yoshi.
What dinosaur appears?
A velociraptor.
I'm going to have to correct you. That is in fact a T-Rex.
Is it? Is it a little mini T-Rex?
That is correct. Yoshi in this film is a little baby T-Rex.
This version of Yoshi, though, reminds me more of, is it Gon from Tekken?
Yes.
The little dinosaur
yeah,
there?
it
More
is.
than Yoshi. Like, I'm like, what are they going with here, man?
Yeah.
They didn't even give the thing a fucking shell.
The animatronic for Yoshi is fucking incredible.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I was looking into it. It requires 9 puppeteers at all times. So just to have it like come up to Daisy a little bit, and it looks so real. Look at the teeth on this thing.
Yeah.
There's phobias of people with animatronics. I feel if I show people the making of the Yoshi, they would never sleep again.
It's definitely like Five Nights at Freddy's energy.
I kind of hate it. I feel that way a bit whenever I watch Boston Dynamics videos, where I'm just like, this is not like good. I don't like seeing this robot be able to like do backflips and shit. This is awful.
They even had a remote for its eyes.
And it's these 9 dudes coming together and be like, we have to be one Yoshi.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The guy that's like controlling what looks like the arms, and he's kind of got this rig that's going across his chest, and it's basically metal arms that he's got his hands in, and he's like controlling it that way. That is pretty cool.
I think this is where the inspiration for Pacific Rim came from. They saw the guy suit up to control Yoshi.
And not like Evangelion or...
Oh, no, it was
Gundam
Yoshi. We have to sync up. And then it's just baby Yoshi.
They never forget the first time they're kissed by a lizard.
Please don't talk to me.
This is where he gets really rapey. He's like moving closer to her. He's like sticking his tongue out at her and like flicking it like a lizard and everything. I hate it.
They were just some kids' movies you watched and you just were like, all right, this is the part that makes me feel uncomfortable.
The 4 of them attack a few gimp trashmen to steal a truck to get back into the city to find Big Bertha at the Boom Boom Bar. Yes, gimp trashmen, this is still very Manhattan.
And yes, they were fine with it. It was a win-win for everyone in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I was watching it today, I was like, wow, they really do look like they're wearing gimp suits.
What is a gimp suit? Now that's in my search history now, fuck.
It was funny. She looked at Gimp Suit, and the first thing that popped up was Super Mario Bros. The movie. Half this movie is just them in garbage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the movie is garbage and they're in it.
Yeah. You would think they're trash men and not plumbers, you know? Like, at the Boom Boom Bar, where they are finally dressed up in their iconic outfits, red and yellow suits.
They're there to find the bouncer, Big Bertha. And where would you find the bouncer of a club? In the middle of the dance floor.
Yeah, she's just having a good
hanging
time.
out, man.
She's having a great time. She's wearing the meteorite around her neck.
He says no one can resist the charm of a Mario, which confuses me because Luigi is also a Mario, but he says he has to be the one to do it. But he goes and works his charm, and he says,
The name's Mario. I'm your main man. You Ramadan, you can of Spain.
and then he just looks at Luigi and goes, man, she must be shy. I think we found out that Mario has a kink here. I think he knew what he was doing and was intentionally getting punched in the face because he's like, you know what, I could go and do that again. Sure, let me try it again.
Hey, he's dating a girl from Brooklyn. You don't know what they do on their free time.
Oh, you're true. You're true. He probably kept that gimp outfit too, and he was like, maybe I'll bring this back to Daniela.
You gotta love the attempt to sneak away by having Mario and Luigi do the dinosaur.
Also, they're wearing the brightest suits in the entire dance club.
Somehow in this place, they stand out. Like, what the fuck?
And we instantly lose the crystal.
Yes, immediately. They had it for half a second.
We haven't left the dance floor. We threw it back and forth for some reason, and now it's gone. Is Daisy part mushroom?
No.
Well, it's weird, right? Because she hatched from an egg. Mushrooms don't hatch from eggs, but her father is a weird, like, fungal creature.
Devolved into a fungus, and as we've been told by King Koopa, is it's evolution. So therefore, at some point, half of Daisy's family were mushrooms.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, but you're fucking part fish at some point in your history, right? You know? Isn't that how that works with evolution?
Yeah, but there's enough lizard in her that she was born from an egg.
You got enough lizard in you. This is where Koopa decides to hold a pizza man hostage via video call with a gun, but the gun is the phone or the remote?
It's the remote,
The
right?
remote, because later on, Daisy finds a panel where she's talking to Luigi, and she's holding the remote and flipping through the different camera feeds. So I think the gun is a clicker. In a deleted scene, the pizza actually shows up.
I was gonna say, he doesn't even get the pizza, but apparently it does.
At the very end, after he turns into slime, the pizza guy drives over him. He goes, "Here's your pizza," and then tosses the pizza at him.
What? And that was deleted?
That was the punchline.
Well, you kind of need that. You set up an entire joke and you don't have a punchline. You kind of need that scene.
Do we?
Yeah, because you have a moment where there's action, and then Koopa's just standing there, and he goes, "Where's my pizza?"
Yeah, he does. He does.
This is where we get the iconic jumpsuits from the Mario game.
That's true.
The iconic outfits with Luigi with a backwards hat, because he's the cool younger one.
And robotic feet.
And robotic feet, true.
But, I mean, given what they had to work with, they did a pretty good job of being like, okay, this is Mario and Luigi. Like, you can tell just by looking at them, oh yeah, that's Mario and Luigi.
I will say the last half hour of this movie is burned into my brain, and I think it's because of how much they look like the Mario. You know, like, finally put them in the costumes made my kid brain be like, oh, this is a Mario movie.
Yeah, a little
100%.
too late, but yeah. Another thing here is Yoshi actually does have his move where he uses his tongue as a gripping device.
Yeah, he's got a long tongue.
He does, yeah. He does his iconic move. I gotta know it, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a deleted scene that shows her being pushed out as an egg out of the Yoshi's butt.
Are you fucking kidding me? Really?
Yes, I am kidding.
I don't want
I'm 100% joking. That would be horrifying.
Yeah, it would.
I actually have a deleted scene of Daisy's conception. If you want to see that.
She was actually conceived by the Yoshi. Do you think that Daisy was originally just like a regular human baby and then they had to like feed her through the Yoshi so that they can make a safe delivery to the human world?
What are you saying? What are you? Feed her through the Yoshi? Do you think that that's how Yoshi babies are made? Is one of them gets fed into the mouth of the other one?
No,
and
it's
then they spit out an egg?
No. It's like a laminating machine, except like it seals into an egg.
Okay, so you're saying... Okay, so I think I understand this. Let me break this down. You have a pet Yoshi.
Yeah.
And you want to take your baby from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Naturally.
But they always cry on the plane.
Yeah.
Right? So what you're saying is feed your baby to Yoshi, and then when it comes out in the egg, it's packaged and good for delivery.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right, moving on.
Good lord.
So you haven't seen your dad ever. Like, dad left. You were hatched out of an egg, and you're like, Papa, why? And then you go to a new land, and then some people are like, yeah, your dad's still alive. He's just smeared on all the walls. That stuff you've been trudging in, it's your dad.
Yeah, all that icky filth all over the place. Dad. The Mario brothers reunite with Daisy, and she introduces them to her goofy ceiling butthole father, and without hesitation, Luigi Mario looks at this hanging amoeba and says, "Oh man, it's an honor to meet you, sir." This man is so fucking high off of all these mushrooms he's been given. Like, without any word of hesitation, he's just like, "That's your oh, sir, let me tell you."
Luigi goes through all this to save Daisy, and then it's like, I want you to meet my father. Whoa. This is way too fast for me. I'm not ready to meet your parents. Like, that's kind of like the next step, and we just met, so.
He finally gets convinced, and it's just like, fine, I'll meet your dad. And then he sees it and goes, "This thing's your dad?"
Jesus Christ!
My note is, hour 18 in, and Mario just learned his girlfriend got kidnapped.
But in reality, right, if we're thinking about it, it's probably only been an hour and 18 minutes for him. He's got a lot of other shit going on. This movie's like flying by.
It's true. I don't think it doesn't feel like we've had time skips at all. We've just kind of followed them like exactly as they've been experiencing this shit.
A rough hour 40 minutes, guys.
Yeah. Whew.
I got jumping shoes. I made out with a woman on a dance floor while my girlfriend was in another room chained up.
Yeah, exactly. Danielle was like, "You what? Where's this trash hoe? Show me."
That's
taking
the real
off her
fight.
earrings and getting her heels off.
There's the scene where Mario finds Daniela and is communicating with her through a vent in the ceiling, and then Danielle pulls over a friend of hers that she's made in the prison, and she looks up, and she is the loudest that she's ever been in her life.
At the top of her lungs, this fucking bitch Angelica goes, "Hi, Mom!"
Yeah, like they're all trying to keep quiet. They're trying not to get. They're trying not to get caught by the fucking Goomba that's like coloring a dinosaur with a crayon.
They burst through a pipe in the wall and fly through the sky at about 2.5 miles an hour. It looks terrible, but I love it. Like, it looks so fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's a moment where they're right above everyone and it's so clearly like keyed out, and they're just like, "What?"
Oh yeah.
At some point, the meteorite drops from King Koopa, and as it's falling, Lena sees it, and she tries to catch it and falls off the rail and gets electrocuted.
For no reason.
Yeah, but then she somehow manages to like get out of it alive. She's just got like frizzy hair and a white streak, and then she just like makes off with it.
Again, the crystal is in someone else's hands. Like, it's constantly bouncing around. Mario takes out this little mini bomb, and everybody in the area fucking bolts. Like, they leave like Mario just took out an atom and is like, "I'm about to split this thing."
Yeah.
Like,
People are like looking at it going, "It's a bomb, run!"
Luigi Mario leads all the capture girls to the portal wall and tells them to warn everybody back in Brooklyn that the Goombas are gonna invade. Clearly this man has no idea how much of an insane person he sounds like. King Koopa's wife Lena inserts the crystal into the gateway and is blown back into a wall so hard she instantly fossilizes, including her hair for whatever reason.
Yeah, I caught on to that too. Like, it's like, okay, it's one thing that her body is fossilized. I guess I can accept that, like meteor energy or whatever. But then her hair also left an imprint.
Can we talk about Luigi's best impression of a force field? If you look at him.
Yes, I noticed that too. Where it's clearly just like they went, "All right, so there's gonna be like some waves shooting around you and everything. Just do your best to try and get through it."
He's like, if you take away the blue lightning around him.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's so good.
Stumble back a little bit. Mario and Koopa show up in Manhattan in the middle of the dig site, and there's this news crew and police already there.
Dude, I have the exact same note. I guess Luigi Mario was correct because the news is here to record everything that's about to happen. Do we think, if we're trying to be rational, do we think maybe there was a big news story about the Scapelli Corporation coming in on the dig site? Or do we think Angelica and Daniela really got the word out to get everybody back here within 5 minutes?
Probably the first one.
Yeah.
But headcanon, definitely the second one.
Yeah. King Koopa turns Scapelli into a monkey and everybody laughs like it isn't the most horrifying thing that could have happened at this moment.
You're just walking in Brooklyn and you see a crowd. So you rush over there and you just see a man turn into a monkey. You're telling me you wouldn't find that to be the most fascinating thing ever?
I mean, yeah, fascinating, yeah, but also definitely horrifying.
You don't fully understand what's happening. To you, that man pulled out the greatest magic trick ever.
All right. To you, as in the collective you, yes. To you, as in to me, you know me, I'm getting the fuck out of there. Something is wrong. I don't want to be here. Everybody's about to get turned into monkeys. Is this the Goomba? Is this what I've heard of? Is this what's happening?
Could you imagine, like, being family members of the person who got turned into a monkey, seeing that shit on your TV, and you're like, oh my god, Jerry! No!
Jerry Scapelli!
Until you can't find the human body, I guarantee you're gonna think it's a magic trick until one night you're like, what if? But you're still not gonna want to believe it.
It's been 14 years. Please come home.
King Koopa punches a Goomba who falls back into a line of Goombas and they all get knocked down. Maybe this is a reference to the games. Probably not. D- for effort. Mario and
A plus for effort because
there's no way this is a reference.
It's not a reference. I'm going to give it A for effort because it distracts Koopa long enough. And what does distract him? Music. Toad comes back with the anti-Koopa song and he gets all the Goombas on his side.
Oh my god.
The bomb walks underneath King Koopa. It blows up King Koopa, and he is sent flying until the Mario Brothers shoot him one last time, and he turns into green sludge. The Fungus City cheers on as they just witnessed the murder of a politician. The two brothers fly around in the air on their Thwomp Stompers. Everybody is celebrating over the remains of a murdered dictator. What is happening in this city?
So, why does the king turn back into human?
I think because it doesn't make any sense. I guess because King Koopa is dead?
Then why haven't the Goombas turned back?
I know, it's like, you want to be like, oh, it's because the spell is broken. But there is no spell. It just happens.
And the Goomba shows up at the end as a Goomba.
Do you know why? Because we had to get a cameo. Princess Daisy's goopy butthole dad turns back into a normal person, played by Lance Henriksen, who plays Bishop in the Alien movies. I guess that's why. Fades to black. 3 weeks later, the Mario Brothers are back in their shitty apartment watching the news as their story comes on about how they saved the world. The newscaster calls them
The Super Mario Brothers.
Glug Glug Handshake. I love it, man. They finally get the name.
They see them on the news and it says recorded earlier, but we had the title card that says 3 weeks later.
That's right.
Those people at the dig site have been walking around for 3 weeks after witnessing a man turn into a monkey and no one's talking about it until finally they're like, hey, did you hear this news report about something that happened about some Mario Brothers or something?
Are we thinking this event happened at the end of May 1993? Because a couple days later, Jurassic Park came out, and maybe that's what everybody was talking about. Maybe everybody in the world went to the movies to go see Jurassic Park, and then they're like, oh yeah, hold on, we forgot about the apocalyptic event that just happened.
The divisive stinger this movie ends on, and I see this come up all the time, where people they had the audacity to think they were gonna get a sequel. That's not sequel bait. That's just a way to end the movie.
Yeah, it's just a way for them to be like, oh, you know, Mario and Luigi continued to have adventures after this. Like, their adventures didn't end.
I think it's great that she just looks like Sarah Connor.
It is.
What the fuck? Dude, I'm all fucking in at this point. I'm like, what happened in 3 weeks? Like, what the fuck went down?
But you know who's more excited to go back to it? Fucking Mario. No questions asked. He's like, dude, you believe this? Haha, yeah, I believe this. Let's go.
Yeah, he really does. He's like, of course I believe this.
Title card, roll credits. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
That is Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Yeah.
That is 1993's Super Mario Bros.
It's not the worst. I've definitely seen worse movies out there. There's definitely worse plot points. I understand that it was supposed to be an adaptation of a video game that wasn't very well established at the time. You know, like it had a few titles here and there, but there wasn't enough content to go off of. So you couldn't help but make it something out of thin air, essentially. And I think given what they had, I know that the production for this movie was a complete mess and it was all over the place and there's a lot of things that could be blamed for it. The end result is not that bad. If I had to rate it, I'd probably rate it like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10 if I'm feeling generous.
My final thoughts are that this movie is a fucking roller coaster. It doesn't really have anything to do with the Mario franchise other than lending a couple characters and some loose references here and there, but I like it. I would say it's like a 7.5 out of 10. I don't know if we're doing any kind of rating system. It's a really dumb movie, but it's something I could see putting on as background noise or a comfort film someday. It's the kind of movie I would gladly put on if I was there to show someone who had never seen it.
Looking back at it as an adult and actually paying attention to it, it is a lot of shit just constantly thrown at you, and none of it like ever really pays off or comes to an end. So if someone's in a nostalgic 90s flick mood, I would recommend this at least once if you've never seen it. If you have no sense of like the 90s or that kind of style of movie, you could probably skip this one, definitely. Well, there you have it, folks. We're gonna have to say this movie is a rotten banana. That's what we're going with.
Sure.
That's our new rating system.
That's the rating system? Okay.
It's probably going to be different next time, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, what are you saying with that? Is it a rotten banana? Like not a certain number of rotten bananas? Or if it's just either it's rotten or it's not?
How rotten is the banana? It's rotten. It's not ripe. It's not fresh. Right.
If you could narrow it down to the percentage of rotten this banana is, I would like to know.
I was making a joke of rating systems because at the end of the day, your opinion is more important than my opinion.
But it's not, because all people care about is a number. So are we thinking like 60% rotten? Or are you thinking like 63% rotten?
I'm going to have to say Super Mario Bros. The movie is a 8 out of 5 bananas.
I love it.
8 out of 5 bananas.
If you want more banana ratings, you can check out other Monkey Media Madness on our YouTube channel, Ape Arcade, where we also play video games and talk about other kinds of stuff. Thanks for joining me. I've been Squishy.
I'm Ween.
I'm Castle.
And we look forward to seeing you next time. Goomba!